Papi, baby.
Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? It's your boy Positive Papi, baby. And we're back with another episode of Papi and Friends. Each episode is broken down into 5 sections: the journey, the process, latest and greatest, gems, and speed questions. And this podcast is powered by the one and only Bob Coffee based out of Long Beach. Today, I'm sitting with my man, Big Mike. Michael Adrian, how you doing, man?
What's good? What's good? Thanks for having me, man. Excited to be
Dude,
here.
thanks for hopping on, man. Go ahead and tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, and just kind of give them a little, what's up?
Yeah, totally, man. So I'm the Chief Creative Officer at Times 10. Times 10's a full service creative agency. We're based out of Burbank.
Super sick.
Yeah.
Y'all are filthy.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. And yeah, man, we do everything from content to web design to branding and marketing and influencer marketing and all that kind of stuff. But our specialty is digital content. We do a lot of social content, and one of our biggest clients is Adidas. We've been working with them for the past about 3 years or so. We've done hundreds of projects with them, which has been a total blessing.
Nice.
A lot of them in like the sneaker space. So we did a lot with Adidas basketball, launching like the James Harden Volume 2 Nightmare Edition colorway. We shot like recap videos for a lot of the sneaker launches, like Harden Volume 1. And we've done some stuff with Adidas Originals, launching Adidas Hardcore and Adidas Running, launching the Alpha Bounce shoe. So just a big variety of Adidas shit has been kind of like our main bread and butter at the agency, but we've done, a ton of stuff working with MGM last year and did a kind of a travel series commercial kind of thing with them, like a 3-part long.
Yeah, those look sick, bro. I was like IG creeping and I was like, yeah, this looks tight.
That was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was big shoot. We were flying in helicopters. At one point, we had one helicopter following another helicopter. We were hanging out of the side of a helicopter with a Ronin, like blowing in the wind, shooting the other one, like landing on a golf course, just like all this crazy stuff. This project called Life Noir, which is like the top tier access that you can get at MGM. So we basically like did all the craziest stuff from controlling the Bellagio fountains. Like we had the guys on walkies, like telling them when to trigger the fountains and shit.
Yo, I grew up going to like the Bellagio and like in the city and like, wow, like that was my shit as a kid, bro. Like that's epic to like you had the keys to the Jeep, bro.
It was crazy. It's like, Ocean's 11, like that's like the iconic shit, right? Like Bellagio fountains. And they actually have this like one little zone that like I bet nobody knows about, but it's like centered on the Bellagio on the other side of the fountains. If you're on the street, there's just like this little nook where they set up a table for like 2 people and you can have dinner on the Bellagio fountains. And like part of the menu is like the songs that are on the fountains. So like if you're this like top tier baller and you are spending that much money, like with MGM, you can have dinner on the actual Bellagio fountains and like choose the songs like that play during your dinner. So that was kind of like part of the MGM thing that we did, and all this other super wild top tier MGM shit. So
that is sick. Yeah, that's some Vegas shit.
Yeah, next level Vegas shit.
That's so tight, bro. Damn, man. Well, bro. This is crazy.
So yeah, Times 10. That's me, creative director for Times 10. The company's been around for about 8 or 9 years or so. My business partner Ben, he kind of like started the company, but it was initially like a music managing company. He was managing music artists.
Okay.
About 9 years ago, me and him linked up, and we decided like, hey, let's start doing content for brands. And we started like in the basement of his brother's office, like his brother Blake owns Popular Demand, and he had a studio like a live work loft in Studio City.
Nice.
And he basically just let us like work out of his basement, and that's how Times 10 started. And then a year later, we had a couple employees. We moved to Hollywood, and then we had a couple more employees. We moved to Burbank, and had this wild office in Burbank with like a movie theater in it and all this other crazy shit. and that's it. Yeah, that's been the journey. And ever since about 8 years ago, I've been creative director and now chief creative officer for Times 10 and kind of leading the creative team.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's. I mean, I feel like you're already warmed up, bro. But let's do like the warm up questions real quick.
Let's do it.
What's your favorite color and why?
Man, I think about this all the time. Like, I don't know. It's so funny. I actually think about this all the time, and I'm like, man, what is my favorite color? I always lean to like aqua or purple for some reason.
Okay.
And why? Like, I honestly have no idea.
Like a Barney purple or like a lavender vibe purple?
I would say probably more like a lavender, but I lean to like an aqua more so.
Okay.
I don't know why. I have no idea. Maybe it's just like a feel good color. It's like, maybe it's because it's like kind of tropical and like just has this like easy going feel. But the funny thing is I hate the color blue. It's like my least favorite color. I hate blue. I would never you'll never catch me in like a blue shirt or in a blue car.
That's hilarious.
But aqua for some reason is the vibe. Yeah.
I feel that. I feel like blue, like I have this innate craving to be like blue, but I know that's like complete like bull. Like that's complete bullshit. Like, like I really don't know what mine is, but aqua, I vibe with that, bro. We're gonna go with aqua for this.
Aqua purple, yeah.
Dude, imagine an aqua purple, like the blend. Fuck.
Gradient is where my mind always goes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like, which sucks. That's kind of a cop out. It's not really like a color. You know what I mean? It's like.
No, we'll go with, we will call it aqua purple. You guys are hearing it here first. We have coined the term aqua purple.
Favorite color.
Aqua purple. One word. What's one word to describe yourself and why?
I would say patient. I think that probably wraps me up the best. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I was younger, I was like just like a wild kid getting into trouble and just like running around doing crazy shit, partying. And I think as I got older, I just kind of realized to just like be a little bit more patient, like with myself. And I think with work too, like, you're working with so many different people and you're working on all these different projects. Like you gotta have the patience, man, because like, you got to deal with all these people and they got to not hate you, and you got to like have friends in the process of like, get this shit done. So that's like real. People need to like you, so you got to know how to approach people and talk to them. And you just got to have patience for like the craft, you know what I mean? You got to have patience for like being able to get there. Like every project you start, you're always like, man, like what the hell are we going to do? Or how are we going to get there? But if you have patience, it always ends up working out somehow. You always get there somehow. So I think patience. Yeah.
I love that, bro. I love that. I mean, that's a great like segue into like our first section, the journey. So obviously you are patient, right? So it's like, so let's just kind of like dive into that. What's been your journey like? Because like to be a CCO, bro, that's huge. Like that's so sick. And like that's just like that means like you got the juice, and like that doesn't come overnight, obviously. So it's like, I mean, let's even just start from where you from, bro.
Yeah, the journey's been a long one. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, originally. Tight. So I grew up in New York, and I've been in LA.
I can see that. I can see that now.
Yeah. I think if you know it, it kind of like makes sense. If you don't, you're like, who's this kid? This California kid.
Right.
I lost the accent probably like 7 years ago,
Oh, dang. Bro, you had the accent?
I had the thickest accent.
Bro, that is hard. I've always said that, like, if I could be from anywhere, I'd want to be New York.
Yeah. I'm telling you. And then obviously, like anybody, you have a couple drinks, the accent starts to come out and shit.
Yo, hopefully mid-show it comes out.
Yeah, my girl just is constantly roasting me whenever it comes out,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay,
but yeah, man,
so
I'm from New York originally. The journey's been a crazy long one, man. Crazy long one. I went to school for film and cinematography at Hoffsten University. I didn't like going to school, so I dropped out of school. Like I had a full scholarship to Hofstra, and I basically like threw it away. My parents wanted to kill me. I dropped out of college. And then I went to school for audio engineering. I wanted to work in the studio. I was making beats and shit like that with my boys and like producing music. At one point I was rapping.
Well, yo, I know you were, bro. Yo, do you have these still? Do you have these files still?
Man, they're out there for sure. Let's hope nobody finds them.
Dang, that's fire.
Yeah, man. It was like that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be a rapper.
It.
I was like, I don't need to do this shit. Like I'm gonna be a famous rapper. Like what are you guys talking about? This is a waste of time. So yeah, I went to school for audio engineering in New York. I did that. I graduated from there. I worked in like some recording studios in New York.
Nice.
Worked at like Quad Studios in New York and like some of these bigger studios like engineering.
Was there anybody like that you worked with during that time that you were just like, yeah, this is fucking sick?
Yeah. There was definitely some people like Joey Badass was in the studio like all the time. Trying to think like who else. I mean, when I was working in like the studios like as an engineer in New York, I was definitely like low level because I was like earning my stripes. I was fucking running coffee. I was sweeping the floors and shit. They would like let me assistant engineer sessions here and there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the come up. Like you gotta earn your stripes to be in these rooms, you know.
100%. That's tight.
But then I got a job on a mobile recording studio actually. And I went on tour.
Oh, yeah, word.
I actually lived on tour for like 3 or 4 years before I moved to LA, which is kind of like what segued me into this career. But I got a job as like an audio engineer on this mobile recording studio, which was called the John Lennon Educational Tour Bus. And it was basically, it was a trip, but it was like sponsored by like Apple and like Apogee and like, all the big Audio Technica, like all the big brands like sponsored this shit. Yoko Ono started it in conjunction with like this other company. And they created this like multi-million-dollar recording studio. It would tour around the country and it would like go to different like high schools and colleges. And it would basically like pull up for the day and they would choose like 8 to 10 kids that would get a chance to like get on this bus for the day. And they were like the top kids in like the music classes or whatever and the video classes.
That's
and they would come on this bus and like me and these other 2 engineers, we would basically like write an original song, record it and shoot a music video for them all in like one day. And then they would go back to school, like finish like their 2 classes. And by the time they came out of class, like we would like edit their music, like mixed their song and edited their music video and like gave them their joint.
What, bro?
Yeah, it was like a trip. Yeah, it was basically like this tour bus that was like trying to empower kids to like learn how to make music and record music and like shoot music videos and stuff like that. And I did
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, I did that for like a year, just like touring around the country, like writing songs and like shooting videos with like high school kids and college kids.
Dang.
And that company actually like had a sister bus, which was like the same concept. It was a mobile recording studio, but instead of like teaching kids and stuff like that, it was on the road with music artists, like really big music artists.
That's hard.
It was sponsored by Verizon, and it was called the Verizon Music Studio or something like that. Man, it's been a while. I forget what it was called, but the Verizon Wireless Music Studio or something like that. And it was on tour with just like all these really big artists because Verizon was sponsoring it. So I kind of shifted over to that bus. And I was an engineer on that bus and then eventually became like the supervising producer and the tour manager for that bus. And yeah, I mean, we were basically like a personal recording studio for any of these music artists while they were on the road. So we were like Taylor Swift, Jonas Brothers, Timbaland, like Black Eyed Peas, all these cats. And we were just basically like on call. Like if they ever wanted to jump on and record music while they were on the road, they're on tour for 2-3 months and they want to make music. We were their personal music studio, like on the road.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah. So man, the journey continues. Like I did that for 3 years.
I'm like, wait, bro, like you've done lived already like 2 lives, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, man. So it was that for 3 years, and when I was doing that, I was like, man, I made it. Like I'm on tour with all these music artists. Like I'm the shit. Like I'm in arenas every day. Like I'm doing the damn thing. Like I'm engineering for will.i.am. Like Will's my homie. Like we're going to the after parties and shit. Like this shit is lit. Like I made it. And then one day, like the whole shit just ends. Like I get a phone call from my boss and they're like, yo, like Verizon pulled the plug on this whole like shit. and like it's over. And like I was living on the road too, so it was not just like my job, but like, it was also like my apartment. Like I was living in the bus like 11 months out of the year. And yeah, they were just like, yo, it's a wrap. It's pretty much a wrap. Like there's nothing to really talk about. Like the shit's done. And,
bye.
Yeah. And then I moved back to New York. Like I've been on the road for 3 or 4 years at this point. And sorry, no, I didn't move back to New York. I moved to Santa Barbara, and then I got a call. I went on tour with Natasha Bedingfield as her videographer. So I spent a couple months on the road with her. She's super dope, super homie. And then from there, I basically just like randomly was like, yo, I'm gonna move to LA. Like every time we would come to LA, shit was dope. The weather is nice and warm. Like everybody's cool.
Right.
I dig the vibes, and I moved to downtown LA just like randomly. I just like picked like a building.
Dang, bro.
Here we go. And I just like moved. And yeah, man. And I kind of started like a production company when I first moved to LA. I started shooting music videos for some dudes, doing photo shoots, stuff like that. And everything was kind of going well. And then eventually kind of wasn't going well. And like winter kind of came around, and like shit really slowed down business wise. And I just like didn't stack enough bread.
Yeah.
And like my phone just stopped ringing. Like there was just no business. And at that point I was like, yo, I'm out of bread. Like I'm kind of fucked right now. Like I have to move back to New York. So I moved back to New York. At this point, I'm like, 4 or 5 years away from home. And now I'm like moving back into my parents' spot. I'm just like, yo, this shit sucks.
Can you hear my kids?
So I did that. What's that?
Can you hear my kids?
No.
Oh, this mic is fire. Fuck yeah. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I feel bad. It's such a long story, but we're almost done.
No, so, bro. Yeah. This is what it's all about. Cause it's like this, I mean, even just so far, the story, bro, is like tight to show like life has its peaks and valleys, but you just got to be patient. Like my man's right here, and it's all going to work out.
Totally, man. Like whenever you think it's the end of something, it's totally the beginning of something, And at that point, I was like, yo, man, like I hit rock bottom. Like I was on tour. I was with all these music artists. I was doing the damn thing. That ended. I moved to LA. I was like, doing my thing in LA. I was like, fuck it. I can do this shit on my own in LA. That ended. And I was like, man, like this is brutal. Like, what am I going to do? I'm back at my parents' house in New York, like rock bottom. And I basically just like, I started just like DJing at clubs to just like save bread. I've also like been DJing since I was like 15 years old.
That's tight, bro.
Yeah. So I was always into music, I was producing and DJing and shit like that. When I was back in New York, I was like, yo, I need to make some bread. So I hit up all my homies. I started getting as many DJ gigs as I could. And I just started like stacking bread. I was like, because basically the second I got back to New York, I was like, man, I made a huge mistake. I should have stayed in LA. Like, I'm in my parents' house. Like I should have just figured out a way to stay.
Right.
And just like keep roughing it out. But it was all good. I was like, yo, I'm just going to stack as much bread as I can and get back to LA as soon as I can. And it took me about a year just to like save up like very little money. Actually, when I look at it now, I was like, man, I had like $1,000 or $2,000 in my bank account at that point. And I was like, all right, like I'm moving back to LA. Here I go with like $1,000. This is crazy. And I just like bought a one-way flight, and I had some homies that lived in LA, and I was like, yo, can I crash on your couch?
Dang. And homie, wait, let's just rewind. Homie bought a one-way flight. He said, nope. Yeah. Not coming back.
Yeah. I was like, I got $1,000. Like, I don't need to come back.
Dang, bro.
Yeah. And I crashed on, I got to LA, crashed on my homie's couch. I had my dog with me and shit too. Like flying to LA, like moving back to LA with my dog.
That's some LA shit right there alone. That's how you knew you were meant for LA, bro.
For real. Yeah, man. And then, yeah. And like probably, I don't know, like a week or two after I got to LA, I hit up my now business partner, Ben, because I worked with him on some shit for his music artist, John West. I was like shooting some video stuff for him before I moved back to New York. And I was like, yo, man, I'm in LA. Like, let me know if you have any work or whatever. Like, I'm down to just work. He hit me back like 2 days after I landed in LA or something like that. He's like, yo, I got something for you. Like tomorrow, you want to shoot? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And like literally from that moment, I was just like shooting with him whenever I could. At the same time, I was also like working at Sam Ash.
Right.
I was like when I was in New York, I got a job at fucking Sam Ash because I was like, yo, I need some like bread. And I couldn't get a job at music studios because I was like overqualified for intern positions or like assistant positions, but I was underqualified for like engineer positions. I was like, this is fucked, man.
Dang,
Went on the road
bro.
for like, yeah, I was like on tour for 3 years with like all these people. And then like all of a sudden, like I'm living at my parents' house. I'm working at fucking Sam Ash for like $10 an hour. I was like, this is fucking brutal, man. But I was like, fuck it. I'm going to parlay this. I like applied for a transfer through Sam Ash to like work in their West Coast office.
Ooh,
I got the joint,
bro.
And I booked my one-way ticket. I had like my fucking $8 an hour job in LA.
Dang.
And I was just like shooting videos on the side. And then
let's
maybe
real
like
quick,
a month or two. Yeah.
Real quick. I want to just kind of dive into like your quote unquote rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people listening to this might be at their rock bottom, you know? And so it's like, what was it that like kept you going, that you knew that you were meant for bigger things than just working at Sam Ash for $10, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think there's always like that innate feeling inside of you that you're just like, man, I'm going to fucking be great. Like I'm going to do great shit. Like if you want it, then it's yours. Right. I think it's all about like the secret and manifesting that shit and just like, man, whatever you really think, like you believe, like you can, or whatever you believe you can have, you know, like, and I think examples of that is like, even like the most talentless, corniest people in life that are like super confident are like successful, you know what I mean? You see it all the time. Like even like just when it comes to socially, like sometimes like the most confident, corny dude is like super successful socially. Right. And it's because like, yo, like he just fucking believes, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what it's about, you know. I think it's tough in those situations to hold on to that, but you gotta just chase what you want, you know what I mean? And I think if you want the shit bad enough, it's always gonna click in some kind of way. You're always gonna figure out a way to get there, you know what I mean? From like the simplest shit to the highest level shit. I think you just gotta want it, you know. And I just knew that I wanted it, and I think I had little tastes of success, I think too, which helped, you know what I mean? Like I was on tour, I worked at these studios, I was around people that were successful here and there. So I think once you get a little bit of that, you know, like, yo, man, like I was already doing this shit. Like this is not where I'm at. Like I know what's up. Like I know where I'm going and this is not it. You know what I mean? But, yo, you just gotta be patient. You know what I mean? You gotta be patient. The fucking word of the day. But,
right.
Yeah, man, you gotta be patient. You gotta just keep grinding because it takes a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's better to spend that time like chasing what you want than to just like give up and say like, here I am and I'm not going to do anything.
Message.
You'll get there, you know, you'll eventually get there. You just got to keep chasing that shit.
Dang,
and I'm still doing it. Like I'm still chasing it. You know, some people might think like I haven't made it. Like this isn't, now I'm old enough and smart enough to know that this isn't making it. Like we're still chasing the shit. You know what I mean?
Message. Dang, bro. That's real. That's real. Okay. So my bad for cutting you off. So going back. So now you're back in LA and then you link with Ben. And
with Ben.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm shooting videos like outside of work. I'm fucking, you know, editing all night in the morning, getting to Sam Ash and like selling like turntables in the DJ section and shit.
Yeah.
The whole time just knowing like this is just a waste of time, but like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, eat some bread. I did that for about like 2 or 3 months. And then Ben was finally like, yo, like we're like working so much. Like finally, like he was like, yo, like, what are you making at Sam Ash, bro? And I told him whatever the pennies I was making. He was like, all right, cool. Like I'll match that, you know? And let's just do this shit full time. And I was like, all right, perfect. So I quit Sam Ash. And just started working for Times 10 full time. And it was, you know, that was it. That was kind of like the beginning of the whole shit. And that was like 7 years ago.
Dang, bro. Even hearing that alone right there is so inspiring. And it's like, it goes back to one of my favorite quotes the homie put me on. Shout out Marvin. Financial freedom gives you creative freedom until your creative freedom is your financial freedom. And it's like, I love that. Bro, like I hold that dear to the heart because it's just like so many times. I mean, I see it often in Black culture that it's like they like a lot of people up and coming creatives and things like that, they're like, well, shouldn't this shit just be handed to me? Or just like,
Right.
I'm filthy. Or it's like,
Right.
oh, like I'm not going to get a job, but yet you want to complain about having no money in your pocket. And
Right.
it's just like, you can't sit here and say that. Like you have to work your ass off on one end just so that you can have that creative space. Because
Totally. Just to have the opportunity to try and give it a shot, you know?
Right. Right. And that's why like so many like bro, like a lot of these trust fund babies and like people like that, like, hey, I got nothing against rich white people. I'm not gonna go act like I got anything against them. Because at the end of the day, it's like I want that for my children. Like
totally. Yeah.
Like I want my kids to be in a
bread. Yeah.
Right. I want them to be in a position where it's like, hey, dad, I really want to get into making music. And I'm like, all right, type. Yeah, yo, my son's trying to get into this stuff, you know? Like, how tight would that be?
Totally. But, you know, I think with that comes like a lack of inspiration probably for those people, because like when you have to fight for that shit and you have to like earn it, it's way different. You know what I mean? It's way different when you like get into the studio or you get in front of you know, a pen and a pad or whatever it is that's your creative outlet. When you have to like grind at Sam Ash for fucking 8 hours selling like bullshit speakers, and then you finally get home at 9 p.m., like that pen and pad is way more valuable than if you're sitting around all day. Bro. You know what I mean? Like you appreciate that opportunity.
Snaps for that, bro. That's so
it's true,
real.
Man. It's true. I've been in both situations. I've been in the situation where I'm just fucking hanging around all day, just like smoking weed and making music. And I've been in the situation where I'm like fucking working the shitty job and then come home at night and I'm producing just to like have a couple hours before work the next day. And, you know, the one after work is always more productive because you're so fucking grateful to be in that spot, you know?
That's so real, bro. That's so real. Is there a certain project that you can pinpoint that like kind of like put you on the map, or like where you're like, yo, I'm doing this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
Or has it not come yet? You know, it may not have come yet.
I mean, I think probably in the way that I want that feeling. I don't think I've quite yet gotten it, you know? So I think hopefully it's still coming. But there's definitely been a couple, like the MGM project that we just did was huge. You know what I mean? Like we had a ton of people on set. We're shooting this crazy shit in helicopters and Bellagio fountains, and we're shooting for MGM. Like this is MGM. Like this shit is big time. So, you know, when we were doing that, I was like, this is sick, man. Like we definitely, that was probably one of the biggest shoots we've ever did. And it was huge. And then, yeah, there's definitely been a couple of Adidas things. I think when we did our first like real Adidas shoot, which was like probably for this Alpha Bound sneaker, it was sick, man. I mean, I was like, yo, we're shooting like an Adidas sneaker. Like this is fucking sick. Like this is so dope, you know?
That's real.
Yeah. That we just did another Adidas thing for this thing called Goodbye Gravity, which was like a Ultra Boost release that they did, which was like a collab with the International Space Station.
That's hard as fuck, bro.
Yeah. They asked us to do this like concept where it was like defying gravity. And we ended up doing this sort of like short film where this kid, Elijah, is the main character, and he's like uncontrollably kind of like floating because he's got the sneakers on his feet. And that was super dope. We had my homie Max Goodrich flew in from New York, and he did the VFX on it. And
sick.
You know, we had the dude just straight up floating in all these different situations, and the shit came out super dope. And it was really cool, man. Yeah.
Dang, bro, that's tight as fuck. I've actually seen that, and it's sick, bro. You guys snapped on that for real.
Thanks, man. But yeah, that was like, I think when you have like anything upwards of like 10 or 20 people on set, and you have like all these people, and they're like, yo, what are we doing next? And it's on you to be like, yo, this is what we're doing. You know, you're like, this is fucking dope. Like there's a lot of pressure behind that for sure.
Right.
And there's parts of it that I fucking hate for sure. Like I hate pressure. I hate stress. But at the same time, like you finally, you know, you see the edit and you see like Adidas post the shit, or you see MGM post the shit, and you're like, yeah, we did that. Like
I felt that. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, rap parties are the best. I want to just fast forward to all the rap parties. Just watch the shit.
I feel that, bro. That's a great segue though into the second section, the process. So
Yeah.
what's your creative process like? Because it's like you go from constantly doing it all to now you have a whole team and you're able to more along the lines lead and just kind of like make sure shit stays crispy as fuck. So just kind of talk to us about your creative process for whatever
For sure.
medium it is. Just
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think obviously the process is different no matter what you do, right? And like what you're working on, whether you're like trying to come up with like a concept for a video, or if you're, on some branding shit, or whatever it may be. But I think, the process is pretty much always the same. Like it starts with like a brainstorm, and it always starts, usually, unless like something like clicks immediately. Usually, it's me and whoever else is involved in the project in the room, and we're like, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, here's the brief, and we're like, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, that's usually what we're thinking. We're like, man, like, where do we start? Sometimes you'll get something and immediately you're like, oh, like, I know what we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there. But I think those are more rare, those occasions.
right.
And you really just like, I think it just starts with like starting. And whenever we're like starting a project, you're always like, man, how the hell are we going to get to this idea? Like, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to wow these people?
Right.
And especially when it's like this big budget shit, Adidas or MGM, and these people, they're expecting like some fire. Like, you're not going to just like, you got to come with like some sick shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think you always kind of start with like, how are we going to get there? But the second you start, I think it's just snowballs. And like, that's what the creative process is. And I think if you like give it space and like stop putting so much pressure on like how the end result is going to turn out. And if you're just like really like, just like staying positive and like welcoming every single idea and like bouncing it off of anybody that you can, from your girlfriend to your mom to whoever, and she's like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And like, it's easy to like catch feelings over people's opinions of your ideas. But if you like take your ego out of it, and if you're just like, okay, like, why don't they like that? Or why did they not connect to that? It's always like informative. It's always going to like lead you into like a more refined, like better, elevated version of your idea. You know what I mean? And I think I always see it too. Like, even if you're making a mood board, like I think a mood board is like a very great example of like what the creative process is, because you're like, when you start a mood board, you start with one photo, right? And then you find a second photo, and then even if you're on Pinterest or something like that, you got two photos, it starts to suggest the third photo.
Right. You know, shout out Pinterest for that. Shout out to
seriously,
Pinterest.
Right? So I think it's just starting. The second you start and hearing other people out and getting an idea leads to another idea, and it leads to another idea. And then it leads to you like, scrapping 30% of what you found, because now you're on some other shit.
Right.
And then, ideally somewhere like 70-80% of the way, it finally like clicks. You're like, oh shit, like we've been on this whole tip the whole time. We didn't actually see X, Y, and Z. And
right.
This is how we bring it all together. This is like the bow on it. You know what I mean? That's how it usually happens for me. It's like, start slow, it builds up, and then the idea kind of starts to take shape. Bounce it off a couple people. They give you some shit. You're pissed about it because they don't like it. And then you revise it and change it. And then it starts to come together. And hopefully at the end, it sort of clicks and you're like, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be great.
No, for sure, bro. I think that mood board tip is super crucial. Like, I don't know why it just stuck out to me, because I feel like that's the easiest way for, I feel like even just like for young creatives, because when you Google this kind of stuff, right, you're like, how do I create, or how do I do this? And it's all this extra out shit. And in reality, it's just like, yo, get Google Slides and put a photo next to another photo and just
totally
keep doing
that.
And
I think it's like all these tools too, like, Pinterest, Behance, Dribble, like all these things. Everybody, like, the creative process is all just like borrowing and stealing shit and making it your own, right? So I think it's like, I always like whenever I have a project, I'm like, yo, is there anybody on Instagram that's like ill that is kind of like related to this world that I'm thinking in? And I'll go look at their shit. I referenced your shit in something. Yeah, like you did this like stack thing with like this like weed brand that you were working on.
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
It's like the stop motion thing.
Yeah, with levels.
Yeah, like we were working on this shirt brand, and I was like, yeah, we need some quick like snackable shit. And I referenced your video because I saw it, and I was like, yo, that'd be dope. I'm telling you, man. I was like, yeah, we'll stack some shirts, make like a cool little thing, and it was a perfect reference. And I was like, that's the vibe. Like shit's clean, and it works.
Right.
So I think it's like, yeah, look at Instagram, look at the people that you follow and that you admire for inspiration, and look at Dribble, look at Behance. Like you'd be surprised, like how much shit you're gonna find by just like searching a couple of the keywords.
So real
for the stuff that you're working on. You know what I mean? And like seeing like what people have been working on before you. I think will help a lot.
I feel like Behance is one of the most slept on platforms.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
I don't know why, but Behance fire for looking up like this like branding inspiration. Totally. And then fire for like even photo shoots. There's like some tight stuff on there. You're just like, what?
Hell yeah. Or Unsplash, you know what I mean? Is a great one if you're looking for just like photos for your mood board, or if you're looking for inspo for like photography and vibes and shit like that. That's my go-to for sure. Like if we look at that, like I'll go to Unsplash, I can spend like 10 minutes on that and make like the most fire mood board.
That's real, bro.
Anybody has seen, you know what I mean? The brand is just like, this is crazy.
Bro. But a funny story about Unsplash, my therapist, he was like, bro, are you on Unsplash? And I was like, yeah, this is weird. Like, why is my therapist talking about like that? And he's all like, dude, so I was building my website and I found your work and I was about to use it. And I was like,
oh, no way.
Like, how crazy is that?
I'm surprised I haven't come across your shit, man. I'm on there all the time.
Because I have like maybe like 20 images. Like,
nice.
I was super hyped about it when I first found out. And I was like, I'm gonna be Unsplash popping. And then I was like, this is too much work to like care.
Yeah. Need like thousands of images for anybody to ever recognize you on there. Yeah.
Right, bro.
Yeah. But hey.
No, bro.
It's all about doing a little bit of everything, right?
Dude, you gotta dabble. I mean, okay, talking about dabbling, I feel like off of your career, bro, you do a little bit of everything.
Definitely.
What do you feel about just like the quote, right? Real quick, like that quote, like people hate on people that do that. It's like
jack of all trades.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I personally think that's bullshit, but I'm curious what you feel about it.
Man, I think about it all the time, to be honest with you. I think about it all the time, like even in like the direction of my career. I'm just like, yo, am I too spread out? Like, am I not focused enough? And I think, but I think ultimately probably I would relate to the idea that it's better to do more shit. And it's better to be more versatile. It's better to like be able to understand all these different things. And man, it's kind of funny, like my life somehow guided me into like this creative director role. I didn't even know that was a fucking role, to be honest with you, until I like stepped into it. I was like, oh wait, actually this is perfect. Cause like I know like a lot about all these different things, but I'm not like just a photographer or like, you know, just a video editor. I'm not just like, spending all my time on that. And that's totally cool. Like if you're somebody that specializes in video editing and you know more than me, that's totally cool. But like, I'm here to just like tell you like what's swag, like what looks clean and how that fits into like the shit as a whole. And I think that's awesome. Like, I think that's awesome that like my role even exists. Cause I'm just like, this is great, man. Like I get to like interface with all these different people. I get to like do this. And then the next day I get to do that. Like I get to edit video and then I get to shoot photos and work with all these dope creatives all the time. So yeah, I mean, I think ultimately doing a bunch of shit can't hurt. You know what I mean? I think it can't hurt. I think if you're trying to be like the best video editor in the world, then obviously don't spend your time, you know, shooting photos.
Right.
You can dedicate your life to that. But like, I've never wanted to be that. Like, I've never wanted to just be like the best X, Y, and Z in the world. I just want to like create shit, have fun, do stuff that I love and do stuff that I connect with. And honestly, like everybody's always changing, right? Like everybody's always like evolving. So I think if you're not evolving and you're always just going to be like the nastiest video editor in the world, I think that's dope. To me, that's boring. Like, I don't want to be that person, but more power to you. But I think even with COVID and shit, right? Like, I think you learned that, like, you got to be versatile. You got to be able to switch it up. You got to be, and especially if you're like a freelance creative, you got to be able to like do a bunch of shit, because people are always looking for different stuff. And I think you got to be versatile in being able to like learn different skills and get bread in different ways, and just like stay creative in different ways. Because if you're just boxed into this like one, career, then how can you really like understand the whole of creativity, and how can you like expand and work with all these different people in different ways to like understand like how a brand functions, or understand like how a product needs to be rolled out, or something like that. You can't possibly understand that unless you're touching these different things, from branding to photo to video.
Dang,
to really
bro.
have that shit click,
That's real. So it sounds like, would you say that a big factor of your inspiration comes from just experiences?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I think experiences, and I think just like all the dope creativity that's around us all the time. You know what I mean? I think people are like just going wild on Instagram and on all these different things. Like, I mean, creativity is just like off the charts. I think now it's like you open up your Instagram, it's like, yo, someone just made this crazy documentary looking shit, and just for no reason, like they shot it with their homies, you know what I mean? Or they did some crazy motion graphics thing, and they're just fucking for fun, and their shit is like super killer,
Right. That's real.
I think the level is just like up and up and up, because like everybody's a digital content creator now. And definitely like all the people in my circle are just like, everyone's just spazzing out on crazy creative shit. So I think that's probably more the inspiration, it's just like seeing all these people create really dope shit. And I've always just been about that. Like I really love just like creative shit, and I love, content and like the digital like medium as like an outlet for creativity. I think it's just super dope.
Heck yeah, bro. This is like like low key a tangent, but have you heard about like these, like all these NFTs and like Bitcoin art things?
Totally. I'm still like trying to understand it.
Bro, say like,
is it basically like you make something and then you like sell it as a coin? Is that what it is? Like
not as a coin, but you use coins to like own it.
Coin part of it.
Like,
so you use like Bitcoin or Ethereum or something to buy it?
Yeah. So like, for example, if I took a screenshot of this right now, I could sell this as an NFTs for like 0.01 Ethereums if I wanted to.
Sick.
But it's like, I like started playing with it, and I think I lost like $50 because like I didn't know what I did.
You lost money on it? How can you lose money on it?
Because I bought some Ethereum, and then I was like,
okay,
just so I could like learn how to play with this NFTs and like how to upload the art and stuff like that. And then
the price of Ethereum went down, you're saying, or what?
No, like, so then it's like I bought what I had to buy like for like the service.
Okay.
But then I tried to upload the image and it was all like insufficient funds, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's like I really don't know what happened. But after that, I was like, I'm gonna just cool on it for a minute. Like, I'm gonna do some more research.
Because like the whole shit, I don't really understand like what's different than like what changed. Like people can sell artwork, and
it's just rich people shit.
They're just saying like this is a one of one basically, and like you can only buy it with like this digital currency. I'm guessing that's the difference. Like
it's honestly, I think it's just like a dumb thing though. It's like it's like even dumber than that in my opinion at this moment. I'm learning on podcasts. I gotta be careful because at this current moment, I think it's dumb as fuck. Because
it's just the next trend that people like jumped on, and now they're like NFT,
like the dog coin,
crazy.
Like how I was like,
Dogecoin,
oh my god,
yeah,
Dogecoin. I'm like dog. That shows you how uninto crypto I am. My dad's like all about cryptocurrency. He has like 4 Bitcoins.
The only reason I know it is because Eric Kelly, who you might know, that used to work for Times 10, he was like preaching Dogecoin and Ethereum. I actually should check in with him. He might be rich right now.
Right. He's like just swimming in his cryptocurrency.
Like, told you motherfuckers 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, crypto, bro. It's like crypto is one of those things that I would love to get into, but I don't got the capital like that. Like these 2 kids and a wife taps you, bro. Like,
Yo, I can imagine, man. I can imagine.
but dang, that's tight. Okay, let's dive into the latest and greatest. So what is cooking right now, bro? Like you're saying you guys doing some tight shit with Adidas, and then you got some stuff with C4.
Yep, C4 is our newest client. They are like a performance energy drink. So
Is that like the powder stuff, like the pre-workout?
yeah, so they
I used
have
to take that, bro. That shit smacks. I be having the itchy face. I'm like, oh yeah, like
yeah, man. So I think they kind of just like blew up in the pre-workout space with like powders. The company is called Cellucor, and they do like Extend is one of their brands, which is one of the biggest like pre-workouts, if not the biggest pre-workout. C4 is another pre-workout powder they have. And then they have like an energy drink, basically like a performance energy drink. So they're kind of more like the Gatorade, like Bolt 24, that kind of space, like comparative to like Celsius or like Rain Body Fuel, which is like Monster's kind of version of like that. And and they're just going ham. They're just trying to really break into the energy drink space and performance energy drink space. And Ben kind of started the relationship with them as like one of their influencers and sort of like ambassadors. And then the more we worked together, Ben and some of the other guys from our team started shooting some content with them, and they were digging it. And then just more talks, more vibes, more opportunities. And now we're kind of working on a lot more for them. I don't want to like kind of give away too much, but yeah, we're just doing a ton of content with them. We're working with a bunch of really, really interesting names too, like some big names in the athletic space.
That's tight.
So we're getting some of those people on board, and we're shooting a bunch of content for them, doing a bunch of branding for them. So
heck yeah,
we're stoked. Bro. Yeah, we're stoked to be getting into that space. And and then just like a little bit of everything. Some Adidas stuff that we got coming up. That's really dope. And then some other projects. I wish I could talk about some of them.
I know, right? I know.
More detail, but I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Right. What about like with the NBA stuff? How'd that go? But that seems fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. And since that's kind of done, we can talk about it. But it was
we can just tiptoe around it. This play it safe if you want.
No, it's all good. We could totally talk about it. It was like it's been out and it's been a thing. But yeah, Adidas hit us up and they were basically like, "Yo, we want to put together like these kits to gift NBA players that are Adidas athletes." And this was when like quarantine was like still super heavy. I mean, I know it's still going on, but
like
this
that
was
peak.
Like probably back in like November, December, and NBA was playing in the bubble. They were like in this bubble. If anybody that knows,
yep.
It was in Orlando, and they were on this basically like this campus, like basically in a part of Disney World.
So random still to me. I don't understand. Like it's just like
so crazy
of all states and cities, and just like really like
yeah.
Do you hear that?
I heard it. But
that's the sweet cacophony of fatherhood,
of having children. Yeah. And they're basically like, "Yo, we have a bunch of athletes in the NBA bubble. We want to send them like a kit, basically to say like thanks, give them a bunch of Adidas product, and basically let them know that we're thinking of them and good luck with the rest of the season kind of thing." So
that's tight.
Yeah. And they're like, "Yo, there was about like 37 athletes that we did this seeding to, and we had to kind of come up with a concept that was like creative and also functional to like hit up these NBA players and give them some stuff." And it's tough because you gotta impress like NBA players, and these guys are making millions of dollars a year. So like you gotta like come with some creative shit to just kind of be like, "Yo, that's dope." So yeah, I'm super stoked on this. We came up with this concept that was called like the Bubble Survival Kit. Basically, it was basically like a 50-gallon drum, like almost like you would like transport like oil in or something like that.
No, bro.
and it had like these big like technical numbers on it. It said like '03 for Adidas, and it said like bubble survival kit, big Adidas logos and shit, like all this like techie, like little
That's tight.
little barcode and like all that kind of like techie kind of vibe. And then you would like open it up with this big latch, and then all of the items inside were like vacuum sealed, and these like silver, like almost like NASA style.
Oh, kind of like that
vacuum
astronaut
sealed.
food.
Yeah, kind of like astronaut food, like reflective silver packaging,
Sick, bro.
like vacuum sealed with like labels on it. And like this, you know, this message that says like, welcome to your survival kit. Like, here's a bunch of shit for life living in the bubble. And we just put a bunch of swag in there. We put like a Lark water bottle, like a UV light water bottle, and like
Nice.
like some fancy toothbrush.
We should have
like,
gave you some Bob, bro.
stuff.
We should have sent you some coffee for him.
You should have. I know. I wish, man. I wish I knew. And then, yeah, they had a bunch of swag like that, you know, Adidas laced them up with like Yeezys and some other swag like
That's
that.
tight.
And then we actually also sent them this like NBA Jam arcade. There's this company, One Up, that does like these mini arcades.
Word. That what?
Yeah. So
you
we
sent
just
them a whole
like,
ass arcade, bro.
yeah, we sent them like a mini NBA Jam arcade. And they just did their thing. Yeah. And a couple other things, like it was BLM was going on at the time. So we sent like a megaphone with like a BLM decal on it and an Adidas sticker on it. Just like showing that we were conscious of like the movement that was happening. We wanted to like, be part of supporting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got funky with a bunch of shit and a bunch of branding and laced them up, and it went well, man. We were stoked on it.
Dang, bro, that's tight. Those are those projects that come down the pipeline. You're just like, oh, fuck yes, it's time.
Yeah, man. That was actually like when we were talking about the process, like that one actually clicked like right away. Like I when we got the brief, I was like, oh man, it's got to be this like survival kit kind of vibe. And then it was like, all right, how do we fucking just tweak this shit out? And it was like,
that's tight.
We came up with the concept in like 6 hours, like 4 hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, we had like, that's how it is. Like when it hits, right? When like the creativity hits, you're like, here's the mood board, here's the shit. Like this is what it is.
So real, bro.
It was so dope, man. And it's so dope when like, and Adidas came back and they're like, we love this. This is awesome. And we're like, yes, man. Like that's the best. That's the best feeling when you're like, oh, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's going to be dope. And we send it off. They're like, yup. And you're like, yes.
You're like, I knew it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
but yeah,
so
I'll send you some stills from it or whatever.
Yeah, please.
Cutting this up. You can like put it up on the screen and you can see some
Hell
shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we're still trying to figure out. This is even on the record. Like, I don't care. I'm like, we'll add this, but it's just like, that's what we're trying to figure out is like I have the old way we've been doing things content wise, but I'm like, originally we would drop each episode individually. Now we're dropping it all as a whole season.
Oh, okay.
We're just having fun with it now, bro. I'm just
is
like,
everything living on the gram or?
No, so everything used to be, we used to have a whole Instagram account for it. And then I realized like going back to us talking, it was spreading too thin, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's all just going to live through the Positive Papi, like digitally there, but we're on Apple, Spotify, like a bunch of other platforms. Cause we go through Buzzsprout.
Got it.
And they source it to all these places. So like the actual podcast will live on Apple, Spotify, like all the main ones.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So
I was just thinking like Joe Rogan and shit. You know what I mean? They're talking about some stuff. They'll pull it up real quick for reference visually.
Right. See, that's what I want to get to. I just got to get like a sponsorship from a brand that I don't own. So to pay for shit.
Exactly. Just pay for your own sponsorship.
right, bro. So I'm but that's the plan, dude, to have like, because I just have the video because obviously it's like face to face and just like one day I think that's where I want to push this to that point where like we're in a real Papi and Friends studio. It's like post COVID, we're just kicking it and have like the 3 camera setup and we're chilling, you know?
Yeah. And
have like
I think like I was watching Joe Rogan on Spotify. There's actually like video in the bottom left corner.
Spotify does that now?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like listening to Spotify, Joe Rogan with oh man, what's the dude that like gave up all the secrets, like the
Oh, the government did?
Edward Snowden. Yeah, Edward Snowden. I was listening to that like yesterday, the day before. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Dang.
And then they had like on the bottom left, they had a little like video feed of his interview and stuff.
Bro,
like,
I have to look into that.
Transmitting like the video feed from the other side. Yeah.
That's tight. Yeah, see, that's the fun, dude. Like, I never listened to podcasts or anything before. I was just never into podcasts, but then
I started getting into them for sure.
Dude, I think I was high, but I was like, I should do a podcast.
I love it.
And I was like,
that's the new wave. It's
right.
like the new YouTube. Like, you know what I mean?
It's real.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a huge tangent. That's hilarious. I want to talk about your girls brand, bro. It's health and wellness.
Yeah.
And you guys were in Hawaii for what? For 2-3 months?
We were in Hawaii for 3 months. Yeah. So it's crazy. We went for Christmas, actually. We were like,
and never came back.
Pretty much, like almost. Like for real. But we went for Christmas. We were like, we're gonna go for like 3 weeks. Go for Christmas. She's my fiance now because we got engaged like 6 months ago.
Congrats to that, my guy.
Yeah, locked it down.
Hey, right. Put a ring on it.
So my fiance went to school in Hawaii. She went to University of Hawaii, so she went to college there. She's from Boston originally, but went to school in Hawaii. So she has like a ton of friends in Hawaii. It's kind of like her second home. Her older sister lives in Hawaii.
Oh, it's tight.
Is married, has a kid. We were basically like crashing at like this condo that she runs. She was like, "You guys can crash on my spot. Come for the holidays." So we went for the holidays, and then stuff started getting really crazy in LA. Like right around January, everyone was like, "Yo, like cases are going nuts. Like ICUs are packed. Like the shit's not looking good. Like at all. Like everything's shut down now. No more like outdoor dining. Like everything is like really just on lockdown. And like all you're doing is seeing news about like how LA was like the epicenter of the virus in America. Like we were like, yo, like how did all of a sudden did LA like become like the center of this shit, you know?
Like how did LA become Florida?
Yeah. And so we were like, yo, this is crazy. Like, why are we gonna go to LA? Like everything's locked down. So like in terms of like even work, like no one's doing anything. Like we can't really be like shooting like crazy, and most of my work was kind of like editing and stuff like that. And Ben, my business partner, was like cool enough to be cool with me working remote. And so I was just like, yo, we're just gonna stay. Like we're just gonna stay for a bit. And like we didn't really even know like how long we were gonna stay for. We were just like, we're just here for now. Like LA's crazy. Let's just stay in Hawaii. And I mean, we just got back like a week ago, but we ended up staying for like 3 months. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. It was amazing. We spent a lot of time like on the North Shore of Hawaii, where it's like big surfer culture. That's where like Pipeline is, and like one of the most famous like surf breaks in the world. And a bunch of our homies are surfers and stuff like that. We have a bunch of homies out there and stuff like that. So we were just hanging and just running around a lot. Like we love hiking and just traveling and stuff like that. We love shooting photos, just me and her, like for her gram. And just having fun with it. You know what I mean? Just going to see tight places and, you know, putting the drone in the air and taking some photos and just hanging really, and just exploring like just all the beauty that Mother Nature has to offer. You know what I mean?
Dang, bro.
And my fiance Callie, she has a wellness brand. It's called Kahaya.
Okay. Talk to me about Kahaya.
Yeah, Kahaya means Kahaya translates to light, and that it's like an Indonesian word for light. She's from Indonesia originally. She grew up in Boston, but her mom is Indonesian. And
word.
Yeah, we kind of like brainstormed together, and we wanted to come up with like a dope name for her brand, and we landed on Kahaya because it was just like we just thought it was a dope name, and
it feels good to say Kahaya. Kahaya. You're right.
For real.
That's like, yo, you guys should do like an ASMR bit. Kahaya.
Totally. I love that, man. And yeah, she's like a healer, man. She's been meditating like all of her life. And she She teaches breath work, which I don't know if you know what that is. And she's a Reiki healer. So she does Reiki and breath work. I don't know if you know what either of those things are.
So okay, Reiki. That's like energy healing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like they
exactly.
like yeah, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
then breath work is like where you like actually focus on your breathing.
Yeah, exactly. So Reiki is like energetic healing, like usually like via the healer's hands.
Okay.
And they're either like lightly touching your body, or usually like more typically they're like hovering right above your body.
What?
And there's a whole thing about Reiki, but Reiki is basically like this like next level energy that comes from the universe, sort of like chi is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Asian,
Qigong. Yep.
right? Like acupuncture and stuff like that focuses on like chi and like the energetic
So Reiki
energetic
is
sort of part.
like the cousin to Chi.
Yeah, it's kind of like its
Okay.
own thing. And it's this old ancient like Japanese healing technique. And she studied in it like over quarantine. She just got interested in it and like took a bunch of these like certifications and classes, and now is like this master Reiki healer. And she's just crazy. She's next level with it. She does like the Reiki sessions all the time. She does them over Zoom. So you don't actually even have to be
tight.
with the person. Like you can just decide to send Reiki to somebody right now that is in like New York or is in, you know, whatever country. Like you don't even need to be next to the person. It's crazy. And she's also like has this like medium-esque like readings that she does. So like while she does the Reiki, she actually has like messages coming through for people, and are like next level messages. Like she'll tell people like, yo, X, Y, and Z came up, and you're like, what? Like that's my brother. Like that's my whatever. So like, yeah, she's kind of like started her own thing in terms of like, she does like a breathwork, Reiki, sort of like medium healing session in one. Where you do like breath work for like 15 minutes, and then she does Reiki on you, and then she gives you like basically like a reading after it. But she has like, yeah,
wild, bro.
Yeah. And then yeah, you gotta try breathwork. Breathwork's crazy. I don't know if you heard of like Wim Hof.
No.
Have you heard of Wim Hof? No.
Nuh-uh.
Oh man, Wim Hof is like the OG of breathwork. Basically, they call him like the Iceman. This guy's like climbed Mount Everest in his shorts. He's I don't know if you do ice plunges at all, but like me and my fiance are super into it now, where we like,
what the fuck's an ice plunge?
Yeah, so it's like, you know, what athletes do for
like the butt.
Yeah,
you guys do that?
A bathtub full of ice. Yeah. So every now and then when we like get the urge, we'll like go to Ralph's and like buy a bunch of bags of ice and like fill our bathtub full of ice and just get in it and just like see how long you can last, like basically, you know what I mean? And that's just like this mental, it's just like this mental training / like, let's see what you got, like test your willpower and test your like, and there's like tons of health benefits around it too. Like it lowers your blood pressure, it increases your circulation, and like lowers your stress, like increases like cortisol levels in your body, and like all these like crazy benefits. Wim Hof is basically like one of the OGs of breath work, and why breath work is like kind of blowing up right now. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
You basically like lay down and breathe for like 20 minutes in like a very specific way. You like do this 2 breath in, 1 breath out, where you like breathe into your stomach, you breathe into your chest, and then you exhale. So like stomach, chest, exhale, stomach, chest, exhale. You do that for about 20 minutes, and you get into like this trance kind of state. And a lot of people like cry almost immediately, like after the first 10 minutes. It's a super deep thing, and I won't get super into it, but basically like everybody holds on to trauma. Everybody like stores trauma in their body. And if you think about it, like whenever you're like in an awkward situation, or you're about to get into a car accident or something, what do? You're like, everyone's always like holding their breath, and they're storing all this like trauma in their body. And when you breathe breath work, it's basically like releasing all this shit out of your body. And one of the like the key things that happens to people is people like uncontrollably cry. Even if, not that you're really like even thinking about something, like tears will just start streaming down your eyes. It's not.
Yeah, I got goosebumps right now, bro.
Yeah, you should try it. She does the class. She used to do them every week. Now she does them like twice a month. And she does them on Zoom. And right now she's actually, because of COVID, she's been doing them like donation based, where like you literally like donate $1 and you lay down on Zoom and you do this breathwork thing, and it's really dope. It's like a deep, like some people have psychedelic experiences on this because it like, some people say like it releases DMT in your brain.
What?
So
yeah, yo, me and my wife would probably actually really be down. I'm gonna have to hit you after. Yeah, I'm
try
like, that's really
like,
cool.
Yeah, I do it like at least twice a month, like like all the time. And it's just something dope to like get into your body. And it's like, obviously like the breath is like the most powerful shit like nobody talks about, right? Like we're always like
so real,
just breathing on our own, but like, yeah, we're fucking breathing. Like if you can actually tap into why you're breathing the way you are, and like, you know, do that in a very specific way, why wouldn't you have some kind of a profound experience? And it really is like people like have gone to like the Amazon jungle and like taken ayahuasca and shit.
Oh yeah.
And those same people that have like taken ayahuasca, like my fiance was like studying for breath work with those people, and they're like, yo, like sometimes I get more out of breath work than I did out of that ayahuasca trip. So like,
dang,
it's
bro,
powerful
it's like
shit.
that.
And it's definitely worth experiencing. Yeah, it's cool. So she has a whole wellness brand. She does Reiki and breath work and meditation. She teaches kids how to meditate and stuff like that. So she does these different meditation sessions where she guides meditations, and she's just an all around fucking dope person.
That's tight.
Yeah. And she has this brand called kahayabrand.com. And we've been working on a bunch of content for her. And I've been shooting a bunch of stuff and designing her website for her and stuff like that. We're almost ready to launch. So kahayabrand.com.
Well, listen, you know, yo, facts for facts, I'm gonna pass all this info along to all the homies. Cause like,
oh yeah,
just, I don't know, me and my wife, we've been on that same vibe. I mean, not like on that level, but like, we're just been looking at like
how do we elevate, right?
Right. Like we look at what we put in our mouths. Like I've always had like the weight loss struggle my whole life. And it's just because like food's like an addiction, you know, and it's, and then it's like, I quit drinking alcohol, like not like, I'm like alcoholic or anything, but just, I had that point where I realized I was just doing it as like a social thing. I thought it was cool to have like all these whiskeys and fancy things.
Right.
And I'm like, I really don't like drinking it. I only like when I'm fucked up, and then I hate the after part. So it's like, it doesn't weigh out. So then I was like, you know what? And then that's when I really made that. I'm like, that's one vice I don't need.
And so like, drinking.
No, but that's the thing. It's like different strokes, different folks, you know, like for me, I just know like for like weed, at least for me, like that just helps me on many levels. Like my brain moves too fast, and like it just helps me be present as compared to like,
it like does the opposite for me. And I used to smoke a ton of weed. I would wake up in the morning and smoke weed. I'd smoke weed at the office. Like, and like 2-3 years ago, I just like kind of stopped smoking weed because I would just get like so analytical, which is dope if you're like trying to analyze something, right? Trying to like come up with a bunch of ideas. But if you're just trying to like function, you're like, yo, am I like, do I look weird right now? Like, am I smiling weird? Like, did I say something weird? Like, who is this person sitting next to me? Like, so
I feel that, bro.
Anymore. But every now and then I'll hit a little weed pen.
Yeah, see, bro, we legit flipped. Because like for me, it's like I'll have like a celebration drink or like a shot for like an anniversary. But like I'm just like, it's just like that's just too much work. I'm like,
that's right. Everybody's built different, you know.
That's what's crazy. And like
into that.
And that's also all that to circle back just to the fact that it's like how powerful our guts are. Like that's like our second brain.
Totally.
You know, and it's
like yeah. And it's just crazy, like it's just dope, like how dope the human body is. You know what I mean? If you like put in the time, whether it's like exercise or breath work or meditation or like whatever it is, like if you just get more in tune with your body, like the shit makes a difference. Like the shit makes a difference in your career. It makes a difference in your social life, like from women to work to everything. You know what I mean? Like
message.
This is what it's about. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to just get in tune. Just get in tune with yourself. You know what I mean?
That's so real.
And I think it's all about elevating. I think anybody that's like an entrepreneur or a creative or a freelancer, like it's all about like, yo, how do we get better? How do we get better at work? How do we get better with ourselves? So Yeah, it's super dope. It's super dope what she's doing, and she's inspired me to like be more in tune with my body and just like try different shit, even if it's just for the point of like, let's just try it. Like,
Right.
we tried weed. Like, why wouldn't we try breath work? Like, or why don't we try like jumping in a frozen lake? Like,
Bro,
just to like just for the challenge alone and just for the experience alone, to be like, yeah, that was cool. You know what I mean? Like, why not try some shit? Because you'll be surprised, right?
That right there, bro, is like crucial for people to hear. It's like, people will do cocaine, they'll smoke weed, but they won't try some meditation. Like,
right. It's like, yo, come on, let's be fair to everybody here.
That's real, bro. Moving on to the second to last section, gems. It's actually not a section. It's just one question.
Yeah.
Imagine right now, somebody was listening to this podcast, and whatever you said right now was going to change their lives forever. What would you say? What would you say?
There's a lot of pressure, man.
Right. Imaginary pressure, though. Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, I would say, you know what, I would say don't be, and this might sound cliche, but I think it's so true, is like, you really got to enjoy the process and like enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? And I think it's all about that, especially in creativity. If you're a creative, like too many times I'll get so hyped to like see the end product, see the end photo, see the end video cut, that like I forgot that the process of like getting it there is what it's all about. And like, if you love this shit, then you gotta love it. You know what I mean? And you can't be in it to just like get to some end goal, because even if you do get there, it's not even gonna taste as sweet as if you loved it along the way. And at the end of the day, it's like, yo, man, like you have one life, right? And everybody has a journey. Everybody has to do a shit ton of work, and has to do a bunch of trial and error and mistakes and growth to get to where they're finally going. And at the end of the day, you understand that like you're not going anywhere. You're here right now. You know what I mean? And it's about being here right now and really like enjoying what you're in, because like you don't want to wake up like 20 years later and be like, what was I doing this whole time? Or why was I always like focusing on this like future event that's somehow going to fulfill me? And it's like, yo, like, you know, you don't become happy when you become successful. You know what I mean? Happy people are the people that become successful. And it's like,
ooh, wait, say that one time. Say that one more time. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Well, you know, like being successful is not going to make you happy. It's the happy people that become successful. And I think it's all about that, right? It's all about like being in the moment and doing what you love, and like connecting more deeper to that. And it's like, yo, just find what you love to do that shit and love it every minute, and like stop being worried about this future event or this prize at the end of this journey that's gonna somehow make you happy or make you fulfilled. Like if you're not fulfilled in the process of what you're doing, then you're doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So like make sure that you're loving every minute of the day, and fucking wake up happy, be present. Even if you're washing the fucking dishes, be like, yo, here I am. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Here I am. Everything's money. I'm washing these dishes, or I'm editing this photo. I'm doing whatever. And like, you gotta love that shit. You know what I mean? You gotta love it, and stop living in the future and live in the now, you know?
Bro, that's like, okay, so like, that's exactly why I wear a rubber band. Not for my bankrolls. Not right, not for my bankrolls, but for legit
reminder.
If yeah, right. It's like, oh shit, okay, I'm here. Bro, I be wandering, so I'm like, same. I just snap that shit a couple times, and I'm like, present.
Same. Totally, man. You just gotta appreciate. I think you gotta appreciate life. Everybody's always trying to do better or get to some rad goal or some you know, elevated version of themselves, and that's all good. That's dope. Everybody wants to elevate themselves, but like you can't lose track of the fact that like here we are, man. Here we are. No matter what it is, like enjoy this shit, because the people that are stoked, people that have a positive attitude, those are the people that A, first of all, enjoy their lives, which is the number one goal, and B, like that's that's attractive. You know what I mean? That's contagious to be around. People that are positive, those are the people that want to be around. Yeah, everybody wants to be around somebody positive, whether they're really dope at what they do or if they're okay at what they do.
Right.
Guaranteed the person that's positive is going to get more opportunities and more shots in life than the person that's more talented and has a shitty attitude. So I think just be stoked. You know what I mean? Have a good time with it. Yeah, like enjoy this shit.
Dang, that was fire. And for the last section, you ready for this one? It's called Speed Questions.
I'm nervous. Let's go.
All right, we got 10 questions. Nobody's timing you, but there's pressure for time. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Adidas or Nikes?
Adidas, obviously.
What's the last good book you read?
I would say last good book. I mean, one of my favorites of all time is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
Ooh.
And that is probably the most fire book on the face of the planet ever written. And it's all
I gotta peep.
Like, you have to read this book. I literally like give it to my friends when they come over and we're drinking. They're like, bro, take it easy. I'm just like, no, here's a copy. There's like extra copies at the house. No, man, it'll change your life. It'll completely change your life. It completely changed mine. It's all about like the ego and how to get rid of your ego, how to get out of your head, and how to live in the present moment. And it's probably why I'm preaching a bunch of like living in the present shit. But Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth, it's all about like forget about your ego, forget about your thinking brain, and just be here right now and live right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, shoot me that. So I got it here too, but still, I need that, bro.
No, I got you 100%.
Weed or
and
alcohol?
If you're a creative, you should read the creative dreaming method, and I'll link you on that too.
Oh wait, okay, shit. Creative dreaming method. That sounds fire.
It's a book by Professor G, Prof G.
Okay.
And it's called. Sorry, real quick. Creative dreaming. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's called You Are a Dream.
Okay.
It's called You Are a Dream: The Creative Dreaming Method by Prof G, PROF.G.
Okay.
And it's really just like a no bullshit kind of book that challenges you. Like, yo, if you're a creative, you want to like be dope, you want to like be successful, and it just like challenges you. Like, okay, well, how exactly do you want to be successful? Tell me what success looks like. If everything that you wanted came true, what would your life look like in 5 years? What would it look like in 10 years? What are some of the things that are holding you back? Why aren't you successful? What can you be doing better? Like it teaches you a bunch of shit, and it asks you a bunch of questions where like when I read it, I was actually like, yo, I actually don't know how to answer these questions. And that is the crux of why I haven't been as successful as I want to be. It's because I can't answer those questions because I don't know what I want. Because at the end of the day, like creatives are so ethereal. Like, yo, I want to do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But if somebody asks you like, okay, but what exactly do you want to be? Like, who exactly do you want to be? They're like, oh, well, I don't know. You know?
That's real.
So You Are a Dream, Prof G. I'm still
noted.
Reading, still being challenged by it. Yeah.
I'm about to cop both those.
Hell yeah.
Weed or alcohol?
Used to be weed, but right now it's alcohol.
Hey, there's seasons.
Yeah, for some reason it's like I can't be super paranoid when I'm super paranoid when I smoke weed. So
I feel that.
I'd rather have a drink and I just feel like just more myself, you know?
I respect that. Would you rather be bit by a poisonous dolphin or a shark?
Definitely a dolphin. 100% a dolphin. I feel like no matter what the poison, I'd probably survive, but fuck getting bit by a shark. And we were just in Hawaii and they almost tried to talk me into going shark diving. And I was like, I'm good, man. Sharks smell fear and I'm definitely fearful of them.
Hell no, bro. Yeah, see, I'm right there with you, bro. I'll be on that sand with the coconut chilling next to you.
Yeah, give me the dolphin all day.
Right. Would you rather be hot or cold?
I'd rather be shit. I think I'd rather be hot. Even though I'm doing all these cold plunges and shit, they're brutal. And like sitting in a room like sweating is way easier than like shivering and being super frozen. In my opinion, like you can manage the heat versus the cold.
That's
the
real.
cold is righteous.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Waffles or pancakes?
Definitely gonna go for a waffle.
My guy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm more of like on the crunchy side of the spectrum.
I can
than on the
respect that.
Soft and like buttery side.
I
My
feel
girl
that.
is all about soft and buttery. I'm about like crunchy. You know what I mean?
That's why the yin and the yang work, bro. The opposites attract.
Yeah.
Would you rather skydive with no training or drive passenger on a racetrack with the blind 80-year-old?
Oh my God. Both of them sound awful. Oh shit. I think I'll take skydiving. At least I'm in control. I don't know. Both of those sound awful, but at least I'm not like subject to somebody else's like shit.
Right. Do you like drinking out of bottles or cups?
I like drinking out of cups. Yeah. There's
I feel
something
that.
about just a nice glass, you know, it just makes everything
Right.
taste better.
That's real. I'm not gonna lie. The way you drinking that, bro, makes me like, dang, that looks like that's smacking right now. If you can invite anybody from history to your family's barbecue, who would it be?
Oh my God.
Right.
It's a tough question, man.
Right.
I don't know. I'd maybe say he's like, it's got to be like somebody fucking incredible, like Einstein or something like that. Like I would just say like Einstein. Like if I'm gonna invite anybody, like it's got to be some next level dude that's gonna like put me on to some crazy shit. You know, Einstein, Socrates, or something.
I love it. And then the final question, most important question: Papi and Friends podcast or Papi and Friends podcast?
I would say Papi and Friends podcast. Let's go.
Yo, thank you, bro, for hopping on with me, man.
Yeah, man. I fucking appreciate it. This has been great. It's been great to catch up with you and chat through all this stuff. And yeah, I hope what we talked about is at least just a touch inspirational of somebody.
Heck yeah, bro. Somebody listening to this right now is gonna go into their office, into their car, into their creative world, and be like, I remember what that one guy Mike said, and be like, boom, boom,
oh yeah,
ideas.
Right. He was just like, yo, be patient.
The patience, bro.
Be here right now.
Word of the episode, patience.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, you just gotta be patient. Keep grinding.